but since he's not here, so we sent a demand letter to them asking them to make available all the documents of this deal that he's, it's just a takeover of JKIA. There's nothing like PPP on this deal. And we've given them 7 days, so it will elapse sometime this coming week, and we will serve them with a petition, which we are currently working on. So the petition is basically to stop this process because it's illegal. They haven't followed the PPP Act, and they have contravened so many laws in the constitution, and this thing should not be going on. And I was speaking to Wakili Makanu today, and he was very positive that we will stop them at their game. So I just want to give also an update on the information I've received regarding this JKIA heist. And one of the key info that I received was about a company by the name ALG Consulting Group. So ALG is a company contracted by KIA. And as you know, consulting groups are basically companies that are contracted by organizations to help them in deal making and things like this, just to conduct maybe feasibility study. So ALG came in and was actually paid in advance 160 million. I posted on my timeline, if you go and you will see. So they were paid 160 million in advance so that they can fast track this deal. But ALG, in their submissions and in the documents I have seen, also in their informal communications that I was able to see, they were saying there is so many red flags in this project. They don't understand why KA would still go ahead with it. And one of the red flags is so there's a report called the CSIA report, and in this CSIA report, Adani wants the Kenyan government, and I will read what they actually wrote to the Kenyan government, to KAA. They say the concessionaire will carry out social impact assessment. Concessionaire is basically the Kenyan government through KAA. They will conduct an social impact assessment and due diligence on the project area and conduct consultation with the affected people before commencement of the project to reduce social impacts and risk of opposition. So they were already aware that there will be some kind of public uproar. They go on to say that the contracting authority, in conjunction with other government agencies, will be responsible for mitigating and managing any public opposition, protester actions, and associated site risks. So they were very much aware of what they were doing, and they had anticipated that when this thing goes public, that it's going to cause some kind of unrest, and they were warning the government that when this comes up, they need to be ready to deal with, this kind of unrest. But what they did not anticipate is that it will be before they conclude the deal. So this is what they never anticipated. So let me go back to ALG. ALG raised another red flag. They said that the capex refund that Adani Group wants after 30 years, they want basically a refund of the $2 billion. So in the previous documents that I had gotten, they were saying that they need about $1.8 billion to run the project. But after, I saw other documents that said they needed $2 billion now to run this project. And you need to understand that they're all talking about IRR. IRR means internal rate of return. So basically, they're saying in 30 years, they will require their capex amount back with IRR. So meaning in 30 years, 2 billion now will be probably equivalent, will not be $2 billion, which we are seeing now. It will be more than this. And also, the ALG group raised another red flag. They were saying, how can Adani Group ask for 18% equity on this project for JKIA? And they also said that on normal circumstances, people charge maybe 8 to 15%. Actually, it's 21%, but in the report, they are toned it down to 18%. So it doesn't really make sense why Adani would say they want 18% of JKIA after 30 years. Basically, in normal circumstances, it's either between 8 to 15% equity based on the negotiations. And the last thing I want to say is that in the ALG final report, the feasibility report, they raised a major issue on the procurement process. And I will just read what they highlighted. In
Hello,
accordance
Nelson.
with, yeah.
Just a minute.
Yes,
You can hold on your submission. I need the PS to complete whatever she was saying so that she can leave, and
okay.
then you can continue from there. So kindly, Madam PS, just be logical in terms of your submission and be truthful, because so many comrades have come to my DM and say even the numbers that you guys have placed on your websites, they are unreachable. So how are they going to occupy Nyayo House? Na hata hapo nje kwenyewe huwezi ingia bila ID. Wewe unasema mtu anaweza ingia, but this is the information from the ground. Watoto wamekuja hapo bila ID hawezi ingia, na wewe unasema they can. Alafu when someone is opening a bank account, they need a KRA pin. Na KRA pin sidhani kama mtu anaweza tumia birth certificate ku. So kindly just be truthful in your submission, at least 2 minutes, so that just hit the nail on the head. Answer the questions so that we can leave other speakers to also give their submissions. Do we have so many requests, and we want as many people to speak as possible? So thank you.
A very quick one. I have met student leaders, many students in my office in Jogo House, and they accessed without any issue. So if they have any problem, maybe they can talk to their student leaders whom they can reach more easily for access. But I can assure them that my office is accessible. In terms of the telephone numbers, I'm here with my CEOs of HELB and Universities Fund. They're here. They're going to check on their call centers, but what I know is that they have very active call centers. It would not be fair if I didn't answer Mark Oseda on the how we determine the level of need. And these are very technical things. You can also reach me on the site because I'm told 2 minutes and not to be too technical. So there's the poverty probability index. And just allow me to demonstrate this. I come from a village called Shirugu in Malava. And so if you come to that village, the poverty probability index would classify me as poor. But when you go to KRA, you'll get my salary, which all of you know anyway because it's public. So then I would then be sieved out of the poor to be graded in the bands that shows I have more income. Other issues we look at are if you benefited from scholarships, if you are funded through Harambes, if you're a beneficiary of the National Safety Net, the cash transfer, and Ministry of Labor has a lot of data on that. Then there's the issue of the lag when students are processing with the national ID, and there's some time lag in processing. This is again very technical IT stuff. It's because of the delay in communication between the National Registration Bureau and the Integrated Population Registration Services. And as I wind up, there's the thorny issue of school fees again. And let me just clarify that I'm not going to the details of how we used to have the average of 50,000, that is 16,000 plus other administrative costs. But that was over and above the actual cost of the program. So now, when the actual cost of the program was added onto the administrative costs, the ones that the students used to pay 50,000 or 28,000, or there was naturally the global figure was higher, but that did not mean that the fee had been increased. And again, I can have side conversations with individuals. And thank you very much for giving me this space. I enjoyed interacting with everybody, and I'm always available. I'm a call away, I'm an email away. Let's take this conversation out of this space, but it continues. Thank you very much.
Haya, asante sana. Mr. Nelson, kindly proceed.
Thanks, Edgar. So I was saying that ALG Consulting, it's a consulting firm from Spain. It's a Spanish consulting firm that was procured. They gave this job by KAA, and that job was basically to become the transaction advisor. But in the process, they saw major red flags in this project, but because of the interest they have with the money, they don't want to lose the project. It's been KIA has been their client for so long, since I think 2019. They've been making their Kenya aviation policies. They didn't want to lose this, obviously, so they just played by the tune. But I saw some communications where they were actually they were trying to advise the team to tone down on the wordings of these red flags, so that they don't look like very serious red flags, but they're super serious red flags. And the team was actually obviously asking themselves why KA would actually go ahead with this project that has serious flaws. So before I was cut short, I wanted to read one of these red flags, and just to read verbatim of what they said in this report. In accordance with international best practice, we recommend using the competitive bidding procedure, which, through open competition, is the most likely to maximize the value for money for the contracting authority. We are not aware of circumstances which could allow KAA to procure the project through restricted bidding or direct procurement. Likewise, we are not aware of any privately initiated proposal for the project, and generally we do not advise to use such methods, as they deprive the contracting authority from fully benefiting from the competitive pressure and/or can exclude bidders which have not been pre-selected by the contracting authority but would have met the qualification criteria to participate to an open bidding process. And last Sunday, I said in this space that there was two people who were interested, two companies, one from Singapore, one from Qatar, and we saw the work that these companies did in, for example, in Qatar. They have a beautiful airport. Singapore has one of the best airports in the world, but we wonder why they would go for a company in India which has questionable integrity. And that if you read the reports, the Adani Group has coal mining rights in Australia, and they have quote unquote a green climate company in India, which they use to greenwash, and their stocks basically go high because they're selling carbon credits, they're following all this net zero, blah, blah, blah. And then they use this company to get loans to fund the coal companies. So basically, this is a very crooked company. It doesn't make sense that they leave companies from Singapore and Qatar to go to India, to one of the most corrupt companies in India. This company has multiple court cases in India, and the cases are like money laundering. If you remember, maybe most of you do not know, but the Goldenberg saga, the scandal, the way it was executed was they would forge import-export gold certificates, and then they would go to the Ministry of Mining and they would get 30% of the value of these import-export certificates. That's how they stole, I don't know, $1 billion from Kenya. It's the same thing Adani is being accused of in India. So basically, this company is like, you can imagine Goldenberg. Now imagine Adani is doing something like Goldenberg in India, and they're being charged in court. The only reason why they're not being jailed or what is because the owner of Adani is best friends with the PM, Narendra Modi. This is the only reason why this case is, they're there. India, by the way, is exactly like Kenya: corrupt officials, corrupt government officials, the judiciary system is corrupt, all these things. And this is how Adani is able to thrive. Now you can imagine Adani with all these crooked ways, they're coming to Kenya. So basically, they're using JKIA just as a, wanaingiza tu kichwa. And then what next? They will take over our transport system. They will take over our energy sector. They've already done some deals with the CS Chirchir, and now they want to do it with KAA. They will probably do it with our Mombasa port because they did it in Tanzania, the port of Dar es Salaam. They have a 30-year concession. So this is why we need to occupy JKIA as a matter of urgency. It's not a joke. It's something so serious. We need to take it, the way we took finance bill so seriously. This is it. We need to take it as serious as the finance bill. Nothing less, because they are coming to devour our entire country. They're going to just sleep slowly, and you will hear, oh, Adani is building railway. I don't know where. Adani is building this road. And mind you, they are in, $50 billion debt. They don't have the money to fund this project. I forgot to mention that 53% of this project will be funded by the taxpayer. So why is this a PPP project? And 14% will be funded by investors. Then the rest will be funded by a loan. They're asking KAA to transfer this property where the airport is, the title deed, to Adani. So basically, Adani will own the airport with a title deed for 30 years. And the reason is they want to use the title deed to take loans for this project. So this is something that we can do. Why are they being given this project? Then we can take a loan with our own title deed. So it doesn't make sense, this project, at all. It's just a way of some officials in government to steal money and to secure their future and their children's future forever. And we need to say no to this. Thank you, Amerix.
All right. Thank you very much, Nelson. Nelson has been instrumental in pushing for us to get back for us to understand the secret dealings that are going on between Adani and the government and those shadowy figures. Kizude.
Oh, wait, Amerix, the Wakili Makanu is on the wait list, so maybe you can add him and you can,
I've seen it.
I've
seen it, yeah. We will drop some speakers, then you can come in later. We have so many requests, 102. Right, Kizude, 2 minutes. Welcome.
Leo mtaniruhusu nizungumze Kiswahili. Ile lugha sote tunaelewa, kwa sababu azimio langu ni hii habari kabla ifikie watu wa nchi zingine. Ifikie watu wa Kenya kwanza. Maisha imekuwa ngumu. Gharama ya maisha imepanda kwa sababu hata ile pesa nimelipa kwa gari ndio nifike hapa, wallahi sio fair. Maisha imekuwa ngumu. Unatoka kwa nyumba, unaenda kufanya shopping. Ukifika pale unashikwa na roho ya kununua spices, lakini ukicheki bei yake hiyo roho inapotea, unashangaa hiyo roho iko. Maisha imekuwa ngumu. You see, after bei ya tokens imepanda, bei ya candles pia ilipanda. Ni masiku kadhaa nimekaa kwa giza, so hii story msichukulie lightly. Maisha imekuwa ngumu. Maisha imekuwa ngumu design, siku hizi ni ngumu nipate kwa mitandao. Social media nishaipiga X, so kikosa kuniona online usishangae WhatsApp. Ni maisha imekuwa ngumu. Si walipandisha bei ya data. Sina ubaya, nataka kujiredeem and that's why na try kubonga points. Maisha imekuwa ngumu. Ukienda pale Shell, uchukue bei ya petrol plus bei ya diesel, utashtuliwa na hiyo total. Yani watu wamesota design paka watu walianto wako mafutani. Maisha imekuwa ngumu. Ni juzi nimepigwa ngeta na vijana wawili kucheki fiti, kumbe ni classmates wangu. Wakaniambia, wewe juu tunakujua, tupatie 500, ina haja tukupunch. Nikawashwa kusema kweli mabro 500 sina. Lakini niko sure tukiacha kupiga watu ngeta, we can come up with a decent way ya kutafuta madhao, and thou shall live in peace. Maisha imekuwa ngumu. Walisema gavani ya mahasla, mama mboga na ule mtu wa bodaboda. But tell me why hata after kuchapa kazi siku mzima jioni ikifika mtu wa bodaboda hizi afford kupelekea mama mboga? Promises walitupatia. Nasikia ni kama ni stories za jaba juu walitufanyia ile design motivational speaker kuja amefanya makeup alafu anatuambia we should be willing and ready to face the reality. Maisha imekuwa ngumu. Maisha imekuwa ngumu design paka wasichana wana have ku handle vitu hard ndio wakuwe na soft life. Maisha imekuwa ngumu design ndio mvulana experience soft life inambidi atumie drugs hard. Unapata uko Kayole lakini zako zimerunda. So haijalishi hii Kenya umetoka part gani, haijalishi una support party gani, sisi wote tunakapitia na ndio maana leo nimekuja kuambia shida ni gani. Shida ni hiyo chwani. So hiyo chwani imetugeuza mang'ombe ndacho ukicheki utaona madeni zinatua ndama. Hiyo chwani ndio kosa mashida zote tunapitia. Hebu cheki. Hiyo chwani si kosa kulala tukicheza wa dreams tukiwa siku moja zitatuletea hiyo chwani. Bro, kwa sababu wewe ni go-getter, usiende kupiga wenzako ngeta. We can come up with a decent way ya kutafuta hiyo chwani. Kenya itagrow na kwa corruption free country siku tutaacha kuwapatia hiyo chwani. Ati Kenya itagrow na kwa developed country siku wataacha kutuibia hiyo chwani. Sister nikikosa kununua leo imaanishi sitaki kukupromote. Vile kwa mfuko mbele nyuma nimebaki na hiyo chwani. Hii talanta bado ijaleta hela lakini siwachi nitaipush mpaka siku italeta hiyo chwani. Haijalishi watasema ni bidii au CBD, waambie tuko Nairobi tunatafuta hiyo chwani. Nataka kuambia mayudha tujalala. Wakisleki watashtukia ni sisi ndio tuko na hiyo chwani. Alafu the last and the most important, hii nataka ifike prezo. Tushukishie bei ya vitu. At least tutole hiyo chwani. At last and the most important, hii nataka ifike prezo. Usidhani 2027 utakuja kutununua na hiyo chwani. Shukran. Thank you so much, Amerix. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kithure, a spoken word artist from Kenya.
All right. Thank you very much for that performance. Yeah, we usually say that the most important thing in the life of a person is art and education. Today, the most lucrative skill is a librarian skill. But why are librarians not employed? Because nobody wants you to be educated. The most lucrative skill today is a librarian skill. Why can't our constituency development fund appropriate some money to build community libraries? Because they don't want you to study. They don't want you to be educated. They want you to be indoctrinated so that they can push you here and there like cattle. That's why I played that song of Wewe ni Ng'ombe. Don't accept to be a cattle. Sit down and read and learn something and come out and protest and refuse to live with tyranny. People who take away your freedoms and rights. Edgar, you can go on.
Okay, thank you so much, Amerix. So I'm going to give the floor to Francis Gaito. How are you, sir?
Hi, Edgar. Hi, Amerix. Thanks for hosting me today. I just want to do some house cleaning on a few things. First of all, I think, and I think Amerix, we spoke earlier about it, is about my tweets about some people in the movement, some people in the struggle. We've been talking about Boniface Mwangi and Khalif Cairo, and everyone seems to be coming at me and telling me that, oh, I'm spreading or I don't know, causing disunity in the movement. No, my asking for accountability, whether it's by Khalif, whether it's by Boniface, whether it's by Hanifa, is not to insinuate, is not inversely proportional to endorsing Ruto. So why are you claiming that seeking accountability within the movement because we cannot be demanding transparency and accountability from our politicians and then tolerating the same within the movement. So we, first of all, the people who I am targeting or the people who I am naming, they have gone in the media and been identified as leaders of the movement or leaders of the protests. So myself, I've not gone or I've not appeared on any media interview saying or claiming to be a leader of the protests, but them they have. And so on that basis, I have every right to demand that some questions be answered. For instance, on June 25th, the day that protesters stormed into parliament, why was Boniface Mwangi caught on camera asking protesters to leave CBD? That is a very fair question. And instead of somebody resorting to body shaming, resorting to insults, resorting to all manner of deflection, spin, obfuscation, yesterday they even staged, Boniface Mwangi even staged his own goons to raid his office and then come to try and solicit sympathy from the masses. No, the question still remains. You were there on June 25th with a group of riders and mobilizers, and you got people out of CBD. The basis or the narrative that you used was it was for their own safety, but we all know what happened when they went to their estate. So they went to Githure, they went to Rongai, and then the police found them there. They did what they did. People are disappearing. They are just turning up in morgues. As of today, somebody just told me that their brother appeared in a morgue in Naivasha. So going home did not guarantee the safety as had been claimed. So my question is still to Boniface Mwangi, and I will ask you until you give me a straight answer. Why did you get people out of Nairobi CBD? Who paid you? Are you on the payroll of the Ministry of Interior? That's the question, because Boniface Mwangi is accusing me of being a government operative, yet he himself goes on seminars with the National Police Service and the Ministry of Interior. He gets paid by them. So it is a fair question, and don't try and bully me. Don't try and guilt trip me that I am causing disunity in the movement by seeking accountability. This is fair game. What we demand from our leaders, we also demand of ourselves. We demand this level of accountability. Number two, this week has been a very long week. On Monday, the director of the DCI made a statement that I did a tweet, and then later they went and arrested Macharia Gaido, saying that they first abducted him. It wasn't even an arrest. They abducted him in one car, and then he had first tried to shed off this tail by the DCI, and then he went to Karen police station, and then they abducted him, and they brutalized him, they handcuffed him, he had wounds. So first of all, I have nothing but good things to say about Macharia Gaido. He took the pain that was probably allocated to me. It was meant for me. So I really respect Macharia Gaido for that. And then I went to the DCI. I presented myself because there was no other option. My face was circulated, and I didn't want to appear as if I'm a fugitive and I'm a law-abiding citizen. We presented ourselves to DCI Kiambu Road. They told us to go to Nairobi area. We obliged. We went there. I have nothing but, gratitude to my lawyers who moved very swiftly. There's John Haminwa, there's Dudley Ochiel, and there's Austin Kativa. And I'm grateful that we went that, and then we went for a hearing before magistrate Ondieki, and he gave us 30,000 bail. We were with my comrade Ali Noor. I don't know whether if he's online. I hope he gets the mic at some point. But yeah, it's been a long week because we have seen that the system can be fine-tuned to turn a civil case into a criminal case. Because that was a civil case, there was a complainant. The complainant had all the avenues to reach me, because I think even my lawyer is currently in touch with their lawyer. There were all these avenues to reach me so that, if I could do anything. In fact, sometimes you don't even need lawyers. Sometimes you just need to DM me. And if there is something, I would delete it quickly. So I don't know how it ended up there, but the thing is, we are investing our time and our energy in this process. We are doing this for the greater good of the country, which is why now we come to the second person I've been profiling, who is Caliph Cairo. Every day before the protests, at 8 p.m. on the eve, he releases a video telling people or discouraging people from going for the Maandamano. And we are wondering, these are unsolicited videos. Why are you telling us not to go? Are we going with your money? Are we going with your fare? I think Caliph Cairo is so used to paying people on Twitter, the useless bastards on Twitter who follow him. He's so used to paying them, and he imagines that when we are going, we are demanding or requiring anything from him. No, listen. First of all, if you've benefited from this regime, the first thing you should be doing is laying low. You should be laying low if you've benefited, if you are somewhere your business is intertwined with the stalwarts in this government, lest we are going to profile your business. And Caliph Cairo, we know where your business is located. It's located in Kiambu Road. It's located in Westlands Business Park. We can come and occupy there if you continue doing, and I have no problem with government stalwarts who say and proudly flaunt their regime. But I have a problem with those who hide, those who are hiding and purporting to dispense neutral opinions and claiming that, oh, I am telling you because I care about your well-being. You should not. No. We will not allow pacifiers or people who have been paid by the regime, by the establishment, to come and disrupt us. You have no business telling somebody not to go. You should be, can we say, saving that kind of unsolicited advice to your dependents, to your girlfriends, to your hoodrats, but not to people on social media. And we are dealing with young, impressionable people who may not know the kind of treachery that goes on in these streets. Now, me, I have been in this world for long. I can tell a scammer from a distance. I can tell you from a mile away that this guy is pushing an agenda. So if you, the burden of the brutalized, let me repeat it again. The burden of the brutalized is not to comfort the bystander. So you have no critique. You have no catalog of achievement. You have no. We can't tell whether you have been criticizing the government on our behalf, whether you've been doing it for your own personal vested interest. But if you have no established, can we call it for our oppression, then please don't criticize us when we take the next step. Like now, this week, people are talking about OccupyJKIA. They are already insinuating that, oh, we want to engage in arson and whatnot. No, they have blocked us from accessing Uhuru Park. First of all, they erected a fence there, God knows for what. It's supposed to be a public park. That fence needs to be down as soon as possible. But they have blocked us from CBD. And then now they use the business people to try and guilt trip us. Oh, because you're coming to CBD, then the business people are not making money. And I'm wondering, these business people, if the people don't have money, where will you get the customers? Where will you get the clientele to sustain your business? So we are all in this shit together. That's what you need to understand, so that when you open your mouth and claim that you're a businessman and you're suffering because of the protest, so me, I'm your potential client. How do you expect me to get money or to have money to come and support your business when they are passing a very toxic, a very sterile finance bill? So we are all in this together one way or another. So if you have no established catalog of our criticizing for our issues, for our grievances, please don't give us suggestions. Don't make suggestions for those of us who are in the struggle, those of us who are in the grind, trying to make it better. I was telling somebody, and I did a tweet just recently, just a while ago. I was saying Uhuru Kenyatta banned JKIA in 2013. 2013, he had seen the only way he's going to push his business interests. First of all, he wanted, to get the duty-free. He wanted to be in control and get the contracts for the duty-free. And then everything was overhauled. Everything was done even where we were going to get our stamps. Today, those contracts still exist at JKIA. Do you know how much they are getting paid? They are getting paid 2 million shillings. 2 million shillings a day for those useless tents where when you are arriving, you get into a tent, I don't know what. They are being paid 2 million shillings. Nobody has ever raised a finger. But because now a group of protesters are saying, because we've been blocked everywhere, now let's go to the airport. We are not going to ban it. We are just going there to protest because they have blocked us in every other avenue that we want. Oh, now they are saying, oh, we are promoting anarchy. Where were they when Uhuru was banning the airport? You understand? So, finally, I would want to tackle this issue of this treacherous bastard called Raila Amolo Odinga. Like, that guy has no shame whatsoever. We are supposed to be looking at our elders for advice, for direction, but slowly it's emerging that age is no longer a measure of wisdom because you are ready to sacrifice all the ideals, all the principles, all the values that you've been purporting to stand for. But there was this one time I went to the the Jaramogi Odinga Center in Upper Hill, and he gave us a speech. And you will notice when he's giving his speeches, he starts from 1982, and then they end at 1995, and then he says he went, I don't know where, he was in exile, or he was in hiding, and then these people told him to hide, but he conveniently sleeps and forgets to tell us or omits the fact that from 1997, he is the one who extended the Moi regime, part of him and the other MPs who came up with this so-called IPPG, and whatnot. And he came now in the Kibaki era, and then he came to the Uhuru era. His treachery and his betrayal is well documented, is in the public domain. So to see him embarking on the same garbage that he's been doing year in, year out, to see him now saying, he released a statement today saying, oh, I don't know, the doctors must be dealt with, I don't know what, all these issues must be dealt with. Who asked him? Who does he think that they are going to be dealt with because he spoke about them? This is the entitlement with a certain political class that we want to eradicate, because when they are talking about dialogue is amongst themselves, and we are saying that we are tired of your nonsense. Raila Odinga has pieced on his credentials, his imaginary credentials. He's I hear he's a conman, but I think he's worse. I think this guy is the problems of Kenya today are intertwined with Raila Odinga, and to see him shamelessly, even fronting names to be part of the cabinet. I'm happy because when we started this movement, we were only about Ruto must go. But now we have gotten Raila Odinga as a bonus package. So is buy one, get one free is a bog off because this Raila clown, this Raila character has been behind our misery, and now is an opportunity to hit a reboot so that in the next political dispensation, because we have seen Joe Biden, we had said Joe Biden is a one-time president, you can see his senility. His senility even drove him to Ruto. So if we are saying that Joe Biden has gone, if we are saying that Sarkozy, not Sarkozy, this French president Macron has gone, if we are saying that Rishi Sunak has gone, then clearly there is no international support for William Ruto. If we are hearing, if the rumors are true that the donors have suspended funding from Kenya, if it is true that businessmen are not paying their taxes, then in a few weeks, Ruto will not have money even to pay the very policemen who are brutalizing us. So we are ending, the end game is clear. We are going, we are getting into something called a scorched earth policy, that's or strategy, where now the government will not have funds to continue propagating their heinous and outrageous and demonic agenda. So since we have seen that end, we should start preparing early, because it is inevitable. Ruto is going, it's just a matter of when, but it's not an if, it's when he leaves. And from my own predictions, and I'm rarely wrong, Ruto cannot get to 2027. He will definitely not get there. Look at him today. Even when he's given an opportunity on a silver platter to rise to the occasion, to tower above his petty and parochial interests. The guy just opens his mouth and says the dumbest shit that can come out of a human being. You wonder what's wrong with this guy. He's just intentionally, deliberately provoking us. And now when people now decide he has triggered, I've had the PS here talking of higher education, and she's talking in a very motherly tone. And she's saying, oh, I'm a mother, you know, you're sympathizing with who? Shut the fuck up, man. Stop trying to insult our collective intelligence over here, trying to say you're sympathizing with who? You are increasing university students' fees. You are reducing help allocations. You've been planted there just to fulfill an agenda, and that agenda comes with disenfranchising young people so that you alone can be there on top, reaping from what you've not sown. And we are saying we are tired because of this collective bullshit. Then you're coming here and your motherly tone, and then with your scripted speeches here, you're trying to doing so come to 10th, come to that. It's just fuck. Shut the fuck up, man. Man, America shouldn't be hosting some of these GOK clowns over here, man. I know we want to make it as a free speech. I don't know, citizens' assembly, but some things, man, these guys are insulting our intelligence. These guys just want to aggravate us with our taxes. And so we are saying when we are taking the next step that we are taking in this movement, it could be non-violent. Everyone seems to think that protest is the only strategy, is the only plan, is the only option that people have. No, there are so many other strategies of non-violent protest, and we are going to utilize all of them because we are saying that we have given these guys time to just say something, to just give us a hint, to just say what we are going to overhaul the cabinet, and then they bring back the same losers, the same wankers, the same idiots who have been oppressing us, the same guys who should be in the International Criminal Court are brought back because he's showing us like Mutadu, he's showing us the middle finger like Mutadu, yenye ni nani. And so I'm saying, I am worked up. I'm wondering why everyone else is not worked up. I'm wondering why are you guys just moonlighting like this? If we decide as young people that we are going to do X, Y, and Z, and yes, give me 1 minute, I clear. I know normally when I hear your voice is that's the time, whatever, that's the bell. So we are saying as young people, if amongst us we have people who are masquerading as they are neutral, and then they are fronting the government's agenda, then we should call them out. And calling them out is not a sign of disunity. It is a sign of transparency and accountability. The same accountability that we demand or we aspire for our country, we should be implementing it so that we cannot replace one crop of despots with the other. Thank you very much, Amerix, for hosting me.
All right. Thank you, Francis. I don't know if Edgar, go on. I don't want to interfere. Give mic to everyone who wants to talk. This is their citizen space. Let them talk. Their pain, their anger, their rage, because people are pained. So give mics to everyone so that they speak 2 minutes, 3 minutes, so that we push this forward. Thank you very much.
Okay, asante sana. So I'm going to go with Billy Mia.
Could someone else kindly go first? Then I go.
Oh, okay,
next.
okay. Kenya Daima.
Okay, thank you, Edgar, for the opportunity, and also thank you, Amerix, for consistently opening Citizens Assembly. The reason why I picked the mic is I wanted to address this kind of coercion and manipulation language that has been used by the people we've elected as our representative. This notion and nonsense of calling us our sons, our daughters, and this idea of coming, you are my sons and everything, that is insulting our collective intelligence. You guys, you are our stewards. You are our stewards for representing us. This whole idea that you've been using this language, you are my sons, you are my daughters, and you are basically in our future. And everything that has been happening, it has been happening systemically. I'm really happy that most of the people have been seeing some of the issues that have been addressing on the timeline. Look at the energy sector. How comes our Cost of production of energy is 25 shillings and above. Look at the countries we are competing with for production. It is 3 shillings. Ask yourself why systemically we are being crippled. You need to ask yourself such questions. Look at agriculture. We are getting seeds that can't regrow. That is what happened. Look at what happened in Austria, early 2000s. Unilever used to buy seeds of potatoes and go throw them in the Mediterranean to make sure that they control food production. And that is the same thing that is happening into our country. We need to wake up. Look at what they are doing to the education sector. I don't want to belabor the points and repeat things that have been said. What I'm liking is that we are all waking up, and all the youth that are listening to me, this is to you, all the youth that you are listening to me. It is your presence on Tuesday and any other day that is going to determine how long William Ruto is going to stay there. I'm here to implore you to come out in large numbers. That is what I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell every youth to come out. They are still in our country, and they are coming here on spaces and even in public spaces, calling us our sons and our daughters. You know, I am your elder. This self-appointment of eldership, that nonsense needs to stop in this country. You can't be stealing our resources and coming in spaces and shamelessly addressing us. That is why I picked the mic, to address this nonsense. And I don't know why we allow them to continue with that language even in public spaces. Thank you, Amerix and Edgar.
Okay, thank you so much, Mkenya Daima, for that solid submission. So I'm going to go to Keotios. Yes, you had requested to wind
Thank
up
you,
the
Edgar.
submission.
Thank you. I was talking about the missing persons, and I made my submission, but there's something that I want ikuwe clear hapa. Narudia tena. It is just a rallying call to the Twitter influencers, especially Twitter influencers with big numbers, the big wigs. Let's stop this division ya watu wakimis tunakataa kupush. Right now kwa tweet ya MJ, asante kwa kazi umefanya leo, umepush sana. Kwa tweet ya MJ kuna like 14 persons ama youths with their names and their respective pictures ziko hapo. Wote wana miss. Those are the things that we need to push. Let us push. Let's amplify hawa watu wapatikane. Because sasa tukinyamaza watu watazidi kupotea zaidi. So I call upon all of you. Wacha to push. And ni kitu inastua. You see, recently niliona kuna mtu alishikwa this week. I don't know whether it is Gaid or Alinul. And a Twitter bigwing quoted that tweet and said, let him free himself. My friend, you are an idiot, for lack of a better word. Yes, you hatufai kuishi hivyo majama. Hiyo division sio poa. Wacha mtu yote akishikwa hata kama small wig, let us help them. Wacha to call out hii kitu. Watu wana miss, wazazi wanalia. Kuna mzazi ananitext saa hii hapa kwa DM. Naweza waonyesha. Wanalia, ajui mtoto wako wapi, ati alipotea sijui July 11. Ananiambia nimsaidie kupush. So let's push these things. Tafadhali. That's what I wanted to say. Alafu kuna mtu hapo kwa DM ameniambia my message to Nyakundi Cyprian. Anasema kuna watu wanasema ati unblock at least waingie kwa space. Anyway, thank you so much Amerix, Cyprian and Edgar for this citizen assembly.
Asante Keotios. Yes. So co-analyst, your hand is up. 2 minutes.
Thank you very much. I don't have much to say, but I want to appeal to all of us. I mean, the enemy is bad governance. The enemy is, the abductions, the disappearing and everything. So one, I would like to ask everyone if we could just stop bickering amongst ourselves. If we can just focus for now, we focus on Ruto, we focus on sending this guy home, we focus on being able to find our brothers and sisters who've been missing. Because one, the people who are locked up in parliament. Two, what happened to on the night of 25th in Githurai, we really need to bring out a lot of engagement around this. So I would like to request Boniface and Gaido, if we can. I mean, I value and respect your views, but I think there's a lot of concern that if we can be able to just focus for now, like now our focus is to shut down Nairobi on Tuesday. That should be the focus. And it's my prayer that we do that. And then number two, I would like us to speak in one voice. If we're going to JKIA, that is the point. If it's banners being shared, we share banners that actually reflect the same kind of message. And I think we need to recognize the fact that State House has actually put in place a machinery to be able to create havoc and confusion online. There are a lot of people who are selling fear. There are a lot of people who are taking our posters and changing them, taking hashtags and changing with one letter. So we need to be cognizant of what is happening so that we don't lose these guys. We are very intelligent. Yeah, we can send Ruto home in 1 or 2 days. So my request is if we can put the bickering aside. I mean, the reason why I am pushing for Ruto to go home, and the reason why I want to come out is because as a businessman, I'm suffering. I've sent home people. The business environment is very difficult. Too much taxation. Electricity is expensive. Everything has become expensive. And then the power of the shilling has actually gone low. So for me, that is why I'm going out to the street. Someone else will go for their own reasons. Let us respect the reasons why we are going out, as long as we all come out to fight the enemy. And then the other thing that I would like to speak is this notion of small wigs and big wigs. For me, if I see an important message, I will retweet. It doesn't matter how many people there are. So I think we need to stop creating friction and things like that, these people are not doing this, these people are not. I think we are all moving. I mean, for the first time in the history of this country, we're speaking the same language. For the first time, our issues are the same. We want better education. We want functioning healthcare facilities. We want good roads. We want security. We want to be able to enjoy our money. We want to see the value of our taxes. And that's the conversation that we need to be having. Whatever other beef we have, honestly, we can respect one another and ask with respect to demand accountability. I mean, I can ask Amerix for accountability without insulting him, without looking like I have an agenda. I can ask Nyakundi for accountability without really looking like I've been sent by someone else. So I'm appealing to our intelligence. I'm appealing to all of us to speak in one voice. Lastly, I'm appealing to doctors to come out on Tuesday, plan like the way we planned the first time, emergency areas and ambulances and like that. I'm appealing for those who can cook to cook and bring food. I'm appealing to lawyers to station around, like now we'll be on Mombasa Road and JKIA, all the police stations in that area. We go there and camp there and we wait. But my appeal is this. Ruto has paid a lot of money for guys to come and sell a lot of fear and misinformation. If we continue the way we are, we will fail. We are very intelligent and we're very united. Thank you very much.
Okay, asante sana Soko Analyst. Billy Mia, are you ready to give your submission?
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Asante sana Edgar, shukran sana Amerix kwa space kama hii. My name is Billy Mia. I work for Radio 47, the only audiovisual Swahili FM station in this country. And as a journalist, you've seen one of us was abducted or arrested in quotes, which is sending chills to a lot of us as journalists. Edgar Buire also faced the same, being arrested or abducted. One thing I want to say is that we just need to keep on as journalists. Let's just report truthfully and not bad. Let's just continue pushing the agenda of reporting the correct thing. Whether it's on this side or the other side, let's just keep on keeping on. Another thing, a lot of speakers have spoken stating that we should be united, because if Cyprian is fighting with Dombachi, Ali Nur with Anifa, Gaido with Boniface, it seems that maybe someone has won in their game and all of us are pawns in it, Inafaa watu washikane, wawe na agenda moja. Kwa sababu mimi kama mwandishi wa habari, naona kinachoendelea na ripoti kinachoendelea, lakini kama kwa mfano wenyewe kwa wenyewe wanapigana, ina maana kwamba kuna mtu amefaulu kumnunua huyu na kumnunua huyu, alafu mwisho wa siku ile ajenda ambayo ilikuwa inafaa ipiganiwe inapotea. You know, the enemy right now are these politicians that are not performing. That is the enemy. Bottom line, they are not performing. They are supposed to go. Bottom line, unajua, because we cannot have someone, a whole MP like Silvana Sosoro, telling people that if you continue making noise, I won't give you money. Sad situation. Very sad, you know. Yet he's supposed to be there and do the things that they're supposed to do as politicians, as members of parliament, ambao tuliwachagua waweze kutengeza laws na waweze kufanya vitu ambavyo vinasaidia kama wananchi. Sasa wamefeli katika oversight yao. Wananchi tumechukua jukumu la kufanya oversight, alafu wenyewe kwa wenyewe tunapigana. Kwa nini? Tunapoteza ile agenda ambayo inafaa tufanye. Kitu kingine, PR people, communication experts that are in state house and even in the government are failing this government big time. The thing that these Gen Zs are fighting for is accountability and the government to do its duty. Bottom line. Hakuna kwamba mtu anataka huyu atoke aende, because hata leo hii mseme Ruto atoke aende, nani atachukua nafasi? Kwa sababu lazima katiba ifuatwe. And I think from majority's point of view, the Gen Z and people are fighting for the law to be followed, the constitution to be followed. If the president and the government follows their manifesto, nadhani tutakuwa mbali zaidi. Lakini kama kwa mfano hatufuati manifesto, hakuna accountability, the people that are supposed to be doing oversight hawafanyi. A case in point, the former governor Mombasa County, walileta wale wazungu ama wale madaktari kutoka nje, you know, ili waje watibu watu. Do you know that a lot of guys died in Coast General Hospital because those were interns who are coming to train with human beings, you know. You can just imagine. They are coming to train with human beings. Even our nurses ambao wamegraduate walikuwa na knowledge zaidi kuliko madaktari ambao wanakuja. Wa Kenya wanakuwa guinea pigs. Watoto wetu, ndugu zetu, mama zetu wanakuwa guinea pigs, wanafanyiwa practicals live. Yet watoto wetu na madaktari wetu wanafanya practical na machura, manyoka, masungura na kadhalika, lakini walikubaliwa kuja Kenya, wakaingia katika hospitali na wakafanya experiment na human beings. A lot of people died. The people who are supposed to do oversight failed to do oversight. So right now, the government should know kwamba wananchi ndo wanataka accountability, wanataka kwamba ile oversight ambayo parliament imefail ndo sasa inafaa ifanye nini? Inafaa ifanywe na wananchi ndo wanafanya. So if they can follow their manifesto, if they can do what they're supposed to do right, I don't think kama wananchi watakuwa wanagoma. Si kama tunaelewana. Kitu kingine, tuwe very keen as you go about your business, as you do everything that you're doing or you're supposed to do, tuwe very keen. Jua environment yako iko vipi, you know, ongea na watu, share your number with people that you trust, share your accounts with people that you trust, because wale ambao wamekuwa abducted, apparently simu zao ilikuwa zinachukuliwa, wanafuta the social media platforms, zingine wanazipoteza. So tukue makini, look at your environment. Wakati ambao unatembea, angalia unatembea na nani, na namba yako ya simu peana kwa mtu. Be with someone ambao unaweza kumtumia jumbe haraka kwamba bwana mimi nimeshikwa, because if these things are documented, you survive. But if you are abducted ama umekuwa arrested na watu hawajajua, then you end up disappearing. So wakati ambapo unatembea, hakikisha kwamba mtu anajua kwamba niko mahali fulani, nitakuja hapa after 2 hours. 2 hours ikipita tayari anaanza kuraise alarm. And then we also pia to support wale wengine wote ambao wameshikwa na tujui mahali wapo, mawakili watusaidie katika masuala kama haya, and we make sure kwamba in everything that we do we follow the law. Issue ID, sisi wakati tunasoma, when I was finishing form 4, walikuja serikali pale wakatusajili. Wakati ilikuwa tunatoka kumaliza exam, within 1 week watu wote walikuwa wamepata ID zao. Why is it becoming difficult this time round? Kama juzi rais alipatia wa Makonde IDs, kwa nini Mkenya asipati ID? Sad situation. So serikali inafaa ifanye mipango kwamba Wakenya wapate huduma. Sasa kama Wakenya hawezi pata huduma na Wakenya ndio walipewa tax, then it means kuna shida mahali, there's a problem, and these spaces zinasaidia kwamba tuweze kuangaza maswala, na unajua watu wa serikali wako hapo wanasikiza. They need to just make sure kwamba wafuate sheria, wafuate katiba, bottom line, wafuate manifesto yao, bottom line, alafu waweke watu ambao wako accountable, kwa sababu ilikuwa tunashangaa kwamba ama tumwambia bwana oya hii cabinet itolewe, alifanya jambo poa akalitoa, then he gets back wale watu ambao ilikuwa Wakenya hawataki, incompetent fellows. Why is it that rais ameshuka makorodani? Makorodani is balls to those who understand Swahili. Kwani ameshuka makorodani kwamba amemtoa huyu lakini lazima amregeshe? What is happening in this country? Very sad situation. Kwa hiyo ndio submission yangu ambayo ni kwa kichache zaidi, to Gaido, Boniface Mwangi, Hanifa, Ali Nur, weka side shows kando and we face the agenda, ni kwamba accountability ya serikali lazima ipatikane. Thank you so much.
Okay, asante sana Billy Mia. Thank you so much for your submission. Eric Omondi, nilikuwa nimekutumia mic. Okay, umechukua. So next speaker Beverly Kwamboka. Unaweza nisikia? Can you hear me?
Beverly bado hajakuwa speaker bana. Allow me to talk. So my name is Milton Were. Yes, and there's something I've also been saying in these spaces before I even continue talking. You guys are not running the space well. We can't have same people speaking each and every now and then. There are so many.
Yes, Beverly nakusikia.
I think I was talking.
Who?
I was talking.
Okay,
allow me finish. Then you join, huh?
Okay.
So I was saying this to
Milton. Okay, I'm a drop. Beverly.
Edgar, unanisikia?
Nakusikia, you can proceed.
I was asked to talk about the counties, but before that, I'm going to talk about two other things. One, there's an ongoing campaign with kutumia kanisa na schools. Teachers and head teachers na viongozi wa makanisa are requesting parents to agree their kids to be dewormed at school ama kanisani. If you are a parent here, please don't allow people to deworm your kids. Mbona deworm mtu ulishi? What are you deworming? Esophagus or what? You don't feed us. Stop deworming us. Some of those things are coming in as dewormers, but they have other hidden things. Secondly, let's continue talking about the missing people. Let's continue kuwatafuta wale wenzetu wenye tulikuwa tunapigana na wao na in between the movement the fight wamepotea. If we keep quiet, the government will take away with. Mtu akipotea wanaenda wanafanya chenye wanafanya because hatuendelee kuwatafuta. So kama ni mtu mdogo ama mtu mkubwa ama whether you are famous or not, tutafute wenzetu. Now, let me talk about what I'm supposed to talk about tonight. The county governments. In as much as we are tasking the national government, the major looting happen in the county governments. I come from Nyamira County and I'll use it as an example. We get 5.2 billion allocation, national government. We collect around 2 billion, so that's around 7 billion. But every financial year, we only can account for 3 billion. So 4 billion inabaki wapi kwa governor na puppets wake. As much as you're in Nairobi or you're in major towns, huku kwenye tumetoka nyumbani kumeharibika. Tell me why in Vihiga County, ile mtoni ya Ushago, you know that kamtoni ka Ushago, they spent over 10 million kutengeneza hiyo mtoni ya Ushago. Those governors are looting. They're using MCS to loot. We tried to impeach our governor in Nyamira using the MCS, but they were bribed. Wakapelekwa Kericho, wakapewa pesa kidogo kidogo na kaambiwa contracts zote wao ndio watapewa. They will not be impeached. Na hivyo ndio ametoka. Also, last week when we were tukisalimia MPs,
the senators were so much comfortable saying like, sisi hizo vitu hazipiti kwa nini yetu, our house. Those senators, usione Sifuna anacheka ama wanapigana na governor huyo Sakaja, udhani those people are enemies. When the governor is summoned in the National Assembly by the MPs, mtu anaendanga huko kumtangulia kubribe ama kusema some questions should not be asked. They are the senators. In Nyamira, we are having an issue because our senator is in bed with the governor. He doesn't, hata ana ofisi huko, he's getting share of what we are supposed to be getting us, sisi wakazi wa Nyamira. When I went to occupy Nyamira, I was threatened. That's why I left immediately the same day. These governors think because uko Ushago, it's very easy to get goons to do something, but to someone, we cannot occupy. Let's go fight county governments. Jana mliona huyu anaitwa nani Barichok, akiulizwa vitu anaangalia senator wake. Senator wake anaitwa nani Sigei. When he's being asked about the money that is missing, he say, you look at the senator like, where's ujibu hiyo? Because he has so much in his pockets, to an extent, wanagawana na nani na senator. So the senator knows like, I'm getting part of this, so I'm going to defend them. Baadaye nifanye nini nirudi? Tell me why a governor think they spent 1 million on kununua soda. And then when he's being asked, anacheka. Na hiyo kucheka hivi anaona, hiyo kitu imeisha. Why? They know they are going to EACC and where kesi yoyote kwenye itapelekwa, they'll use the same money to do what? To bribe these people, and that story is going to work out like that. There is no way ile Ushago yetu tu yenye tuliacha, we are going back after 10 years, is the same way vile ilikuwa. Actually it's worse because the county government using some national project government tukusema kwamba ni zao. Also the World Bank and other organizations zinafanya some projects huko Ushago. Sometimes just be sure who is doing the project. Project ikianza, just know who is doing that project. Because the county government will come, the governor will come and say, unajua juzi tumejenga sijui nini, and that is not a county government project. But he's taking credit because wa mama koko Ushago kina mamangu, they want us, they don't even know what's the World Bank or the county government projects. Also, kuna hizi the things that were devolved. Those are the elements zenye wanatumia kuiba. Nasikia gavana amesema ameajiri sijui walimu wa ECD kama 50. Ukienda kuangalia hata TSC numbers zenye ameweka hapa exist. They are using that to loot. The MCAs sahi wa kuku Kitengela wananunua mashamba wakijenga. They are getting hizo contracts za county government kama ni kujenga barabara, na akikupea through a proxy unachukua 7 bob anachukua 3 bob. Literally wale watu wenye wako Ushago wenye walisema watakaa maybe Nyamira town, they will never grow. Why? All the contracts zenye tender wanaona zimeadvertisewa, they try applying, hawezi pata, wana advertise tu for formality. Then in the Viga County last month wali arrest like 11 people from that county. After 2 weeks, imagine wamerudi kwa kazi. They are now going back to cover up yenye ilifanya wajulikane. Like why is it that the EACC and the prosecutor, wanaita ODPP, hawawezi fanya kazi yao? They are really giving these counties a walk away with the money that should be developing. Tell me why we lose 4 billion yenye inaweza jenga. Sisi Nyamira hatuna hospitali. Ukipeleka mgonjwa hospitali, make sure umempelekea maji ya kuoga. Kama si hivyo atarudi, unaweza pata hata amekufa because hakuna maji. The county governments are doing the major looting. Achana na hii ya national government yenye tunapea attention. So if you're in position to go back to your county government and arrange and occupy your county, let those governors, some to report your auditor general, let them tell you where the money went. And if they are not being accurate in telling you what happened, let that governor go home. If he can't fire masisi wenye wamekaa huko kwa county government, let him go home. Na if he fires them, wacha wachukuliwe hatua. Sasa unaenda kidogo hivi unasikia hospitali hakuna madawa, hakuna maji. New governor alichukua 10 million akaenda Canada akaleta mbegu ya ng'ombe. Eti sasa animal husbandry ndio tunafanya sijui with this money. They are doing so very many things to vitu tudogo. Then they allocate billions. Before we finish with the national government, some of you should be occupying your county. Just read that Auditor General report and know wage bill ya county yenu ni ngapi. Mbona governor create unnecessary positions just to do what? To use it at a way of looting. Na kama governor wenyu ni wa ako second term, huyu hata si kuiba anaiba, huyu ana divert everything because he's allocating money for finished projects or the former projects. Na nasema kama sisi kuna stadium inaitwa Manga Stadium, they keep giving it 160, 150, 100 million every year. Na iko tu the same kiwanja, hata ng'ombe zinaingianga kukula hapo. It's just a kiwanja. So they are using finished projects to loot. They are using existing project. Na wanazipeleka pole pole ndio waendelee kufanya nini? Kuiba nazo. So the best thing to do, just go occupy your county governments. Me, I'm going to, if any of you is here from Nyamira Tuesday, we are occupying that county. That 68-year-old mama serving as the youth, yende anasimamia youth and gender, ya akai nyumbani. We can't have someone holding a position yenye hata ajaiweka tournament hata moja. Na ukimuuliza anakuambia na wewe ni nani? Unajua nilisoma US, I have 6 degrees. Penda nyumbani bana. Tunaweza hata mtu wa diploma bora tusaidie. We don't care. Thank you.
Beverly, kindly wind up. Okay, thank you so much for that. Eric Omondi.
Yes, guys. Asante sana, Americ, Cyprian, Edgar. First of all, guys, I feel very sad, yeah, because we are so close. We are so close, and these are things that come once in a lifetime. You know, I read somewhere that politics is the art of a few organized people controlling disorganized majority. And guys, this is Kenya's last best chance, and our children, our great grandchildren, and our grandchildren will blame us. We are so close, guys, and we have this guy cornered. You've seen his body language. Today he's conceding, tomorrow he's threatening. So tushampata, and we are so close. Tumepewa pena bro, tuko 1-1. Alafu tukapewa pena at the 90th minute. Na lazima tufunge bro, and brothers and sisters. So as a person who has traveled this journey for quite a long time, a person who has endured so much, yeah, who has suffered so much, alafu kufika kwa hapa kwa finishing line, alafu tuna stop, yani atupiti your line, tunaanza kuwa disorganized. We need to understand that this thing is not just about Kenya. People have called me from Uganda. They're going to parliament on Tuesday. They are looking upon us. Tanzania, Uganda, Africa is looking upon us. The whole world is discussing Kenya. CNN is here day in, day out. We are about, we're at the verge of making history and changing Kenya forever. We cannot lose this fight, especially now. If these people reorganize, re-strategize, and regroup, we will regret it. Tutalia kwa choo. Yeah? And guys, we need to be very clear at this 11th hour. What do we want? What are we going for? And after we've achieved it, how do we move forward? Tunasema Ruto must go. If Ruto goes tomorrow, Gachagua takes over, changing our narrative and our demands. It is the presidency. It is the presidency must go. Wacha Wetangula take over for 90 days, sijui ni 60, and then we constitute. And that's why I was very happy when Ruto started the process of constituting the IEBC. So we must tusijipige own goal. Ruto asitoka na Gachagua ingie. It could be worse. So first of all, we cannot be disorganized. We cannot be fighting amongst ourselves. And I have the moral authority to say what I'm saying, because I think on this platform I can say it. Maybe I can't say it on the traditional media. Some of us started this thing, and the vision we had, the dream we had, the prayer we had, all of a sudden, tuseme ni Mungu, it's happening. And some of us, it pains us to see that tumekimbia tukafika pale mazee, badala tupitishe tu line tumalize kazi. We've run a good, we've kept the faith. Alafu sasa tunaingiliwa na infiltration and na mavita. So what are we looking for? Whether Ruto resigns or he doesn't resign, I hope he does. We must know what we want. Kuna kitu tumeanzisha. Paka juzi kumekuwa na earthquake. I don't want to get spiritual on this platform. Do you know the last time Kenya had an earthquake? There's a lot that is going on in this country. Things are shifting. Back up tectonic plates. Tumefika point, it's like a pregnant woman in labor. Nothing can stop this from coming forth. Huyo mtoto atazaliwa. And it has nothing to do with Ruto. Ruto ataenda hata kesho. But there are things that I will tell you guys today that we must achieve. First of all, this bullshit of county government, of devolution. Devolution was meant to devolve services. It only devolved corruption. Why do we have 47 counties? America is a continent. The country of America is the size of a continent. They have 50 governors. Why do we have 47 governors and 47 senators? What are the work? Kazi ya women rep ni nini? Why do we nominate MCAs and MPs and senators? Immediately we achieve, because we shall achieve. We must revert back to 8 counties. Nimeona leo kusini governor UP. You know what's going on with Wamatangi? You know what's going on with the governor Alinini? Alinunua crate moja, saw that 1 million. Kuna mwingine amefungua bridge, a very small bridge, hata hakuna maji, just on a flat surface. I don't know if you saw the bridge. We must do away with the 47. Do you know how big Texas is? The state of Texas. Na nilisema juzi mtu ananipinga. Kenya goes into Texas 2 times. And it is led by 1 governor effectively. Texas is the size of Kenya twice. Once we achieve whatever we achieve, tutaenda referendum. We are fixing the nation from the root problem, which is corruption, nepotism, tribalism, and partyism. Hizi pesa zinapotea kwa county. Zinapotea na Sakaja na our governors. We must revert back to 8 provinces. Wacha tuzite counties. Let us have the coastal county, the western, muite Mulembe County, muite Pwani County, muite Nyanza County. Well, Kenya is too small to have 47 governors. Alafu wakuna kazi wanafanya. Mmesikia what my sister just said there. That is our target. Our number 1 target is to get rid of the presidency. Constitutionally, Ruto akitoka leo, Gachagua anaingia. Tunarudi kutena kwa demonstrations, kukufa tena. We are doing away with the presidency. Wacha Wetangula chukue. Legally atachukua for how long? In 90 days. We must go into election. The MPs who voted yes must all go, must all be recalled. So to go in a target. Target number 1, we gave President Ruto an opportunity. I personally was very happy when the president dissolved the cabinet. And I expected him to self-preserve. I expected him to listen to the people. Ruto had an opportunity to do what the people wanted without any of his cronies castigating him or attacking him. He had the opportunity to tell them what say ni wa Kenya na umeona wameingia paka parliament. So I expected him juzi when the president anaongea, I expected him to come and fire all the parastatal heads, and then fire all the PSS, and then fire every government official. He lost his chance. He lost his only chance. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Kenya's best last option. And it will not come around again. It will not come around for another 100 years. And Uganda is looking up to us. Africa is looking up to us. Because revolution, revival starts from Nairobi. So the bullcrap of Cairo saying Bonnie did and you who did it, it pains my heart. And if there are people who are infiltrating and you've been paid, may God strike you with lightning. May the blood of Kenyans who died, whose brains were blown off, may that blood go straight to your family and your great-great-grandchildren. May that curse fall upon your head. Guys, I will repeat again. Politics is an act of a few organized people controlling a majority that is disorganized. Mimi nimeshikwa 13 times. I've been on the street for 2 years. Nikiitwa cloud chaser, joker, comedian. But finally I wake up and I see it's happening. Guys, tumepewa pena. Hata goalkeeper ametolewa. Tukihata tumehata. And I know Ruto's people are on this, they're on this platform. Listen and listen to me carefully. You guys had an opportunity. And President Ruto still, junajua mko hapa ndani. You had an opportunity. You still have an opportunity. Tell President Ruto to fire his cabinet again tomorrow. Asingoje Tuesday. Fire all PSs. Fire all parastatal heads. Fire every single government official. And then maybe, perhaps maybe, that is the only way. Now, if the president attempts to do anything that we've had or seen before, akileta dialogue, alete committee, alete all platforms, the president knows what people are calling for. And this is not even about Ruto. This is about injustices that have existed since 1963. And Ruto is the last of his generation. The best he can do is try to forge a legacy. We have given him that opportunity. Fire your government, and the least you can do is call for, allow us to recall these MPs. Na wewe tutakutana wewe 2027, venye unasemanga. Ama call for elections. But in direction ya could threaten, there are 53 million Kenyans. And we must realize this. Against less than 2,000 government officials, from president to MC, our fiki hata 2,000. Wakienda sana 2,500. Against 53 million. Guys, this is Kenya's last best chance. And it will not come around again. It will not come around again. Let's take our opportunity. It is a God-given opportunity. It is a God-given opportunity. Na tutalia kwa juu. Watasemanga, now they'll talk about that in the other countries and in history books. There was a time Kenyans almost changed the course of history. And I will repeat as I finish. What are we aiming at? Tukisha achieve, county government must go. Women reps must go. What is the work of 47 women reps who are earning from taxpayers' money if within the 2024 finance bill there was a clause taxing sanitary pads that was only discovered by Gen Zs and men, not even women? These 47 women could not come together and fight and rally. Kazi yao, they must go. Kazi ya women reps ni nini? Na hata hao MCAs. Hata hao MCAs. Even these MCAs, they will one day very soon explain to us kazi yao ni nini. Kazi yao ni nini. Nothing has been done with, since devolution. Only corruption and nepotism and tribalism. Hakuna kitu imefanyika. Turudi kwa provinces zetu na tuziite county, tukuwe na governors wa 8. And every person who will get into a government office beginning now must take a pay cut. Because I'm assuming those are not people we know. We are giving them an opportunity. Tunakupea opportunity atukujui. You are fresh, whether you are Gen Z, ama wewe ni millennial. We are starting afresh. You will take a pay. Utachukua mshahara tumekuwapea. Will not be unfair. Haitakuwa very high, haitakuwa very low. We are starting afresh and we are fixing the nation. Guys, our root cause are vitu kama hizo nimewambia. Women reps, I'm very disappointed. I've been following very keenly. I know who blew the whistle on the pads. It was not a woman. It was not even a woman rep. They nominated the nyamus of this world. Wanafanya kazi gani? They are not accountable. Afadhali hao wengine wameelektiwa, wanaogopanga juu wanaona watarudi. Kura itaenda. Huyu mwingine ako nominated, ana serve nani? Constituencies wake ni nani? Ako accountable to nani? Hizo ni vitu za Moi. And finally, as I finish, kuna wakina Jomo Kenyatta, Oginga Odinga, Ochieng Aneko, Bildad Kagia, we know them. The first generation, they fought for this nation. And they gave us freedom from the white man. We had the second liberators. So you know what liberators? Hawa kina Martha Karua. Tunawajua, hawa walipigania. Akina multipartism. We must recognize that another one is happening now. Wakina Kenyatta waliachieve. Hawa kina Martha Karua walikuwa na kina Omingo Magara, sijui akina Orengo. They achieved multipartism. We must realize hii nyingine inafanyika. It is the last liberation of a nation. We celebrate Kenyatta and whoever he was with because of whatever they did. So guys, this is our last best chance. And it is not a Kenyan thing. This is an East African thing, it's an African thing. Asanteni sana, ndugu zangu.
Okay, thank you so much, Eric Omondi, for that submission. Masita Rus.
Thank you so much. I want to remind all of us that when we started all of this, we said we were leaderless, tribeless, partyless, fearless. Every time you hear our president, I want to put this across very clearly, that when the president is elected, he is the president of Kenya, not a governor of a county in Rift Valley. So there's nothing like our president and the president of Rift Valley. He is at work to serve Kenyans, all citizens of Kenya, the sovereign. Poverty is very high in the Mtuwetu counties. And it is high time that even when we go home, we go and educate our parents, we go and educate our grandparents, our cousins, our brothers, our sisters. Because this thing is not only about those people who are in towns, it's not only about the Gen Zs. These people are coming after the sectors that affect you as a person directly. That is the health sector, the education sector, the agriculture sector. When they take your seed sovereignty, when they take your food sovereignty away, you depend on them. Walisema finance bill ilikuwa rejected, but the appropriations bill went through, and we have seen the prices of things go up. Right now, we have seen the prices of seeds go up, seeds that were scarce during the planting season. They are now available, but they have gone up. We have seen the prices of fuel go up. And I know all of us are intelligent. So tunajua price of fuel go up, everything else automatically goes up. Guys, we are tribeless. Refuse to be played with in the lines of ethnicity. And in fact, I want us to adapt this, that now we are tribe katiba. We are all about the Constitution of Kenya that recognizes us as the sovereign, and we shall underline that, as that man said. They want two things from us. They want us to give them a leader, and then they want us to give them a party. But leaderlessness is our strength. Guys, I will repeat. Leaderlessness is our strength. Tulimsikia akisema wako leaderless. And you see, the thing that they want to do is give us a leader so that we can go after that leader, compromise them. Or if we don't go after that leader and compromise them, then we shall label this person as the person that is behind all of this. And then we tutamzungusha mpaka ajue who owns Kenya. But it is us actually. It is the Kenyan citizens who own Kenya. If you give them a political party, then they will come and say that you see now that political party, it is funded by anarchists, and they have not tired of that word anarchy all the time, anarchy reminding us. So if we give them a leader, if we give them a political party, tutakuwa tumewasaidia sana to create the 1982 situation, so that now they will sit down in their offices and tell us, guys, you see these people, they want to bring a coup. We are leaderless, we are partyless. If we give them these two things, they will forget about all the pertinent issues that we have raised and focus on that. And what are these pertinent issues that we have raised? Meritocracy, call for accountability, implementation of policies that favor Kenyans, and upholding the rule of law. My clarion call to everyone is, if you do not want to fight for the farmers, then fight because you are a consumer. You will consume these products. If you do not want to fight for the teachers, fight because you are a student. You are going to be a student, or you're going to have a child who is going to be a student. And so you need the education sector to work. If you do not want to fight for the doctors, then fight for your health, because you are the one who will fall sick and you will need the doctors there to treat you. Guys, do not be derailed. This movement has stood the test of all of this, of partylessness and leaderlessness. It is not time to be derailed. It is time to focus. Focus. It is time to focus. And all of this, mind you, is all by design. It is all by design. There's nothing that is by mistake. Steve has said that there's something called the New World Order that is about to happen or will happen. Guys, it is not about to happen. It is happening. They have taken away the food sovereignty. Now they're taking away the healthcare system that was working. Now they want to make us remain illiterate so that they can control us. And then they will control the population. How? By keeping you sick, by feeding you food that is compromised. Then you will need them. If you look at the trend of this political class, what they are now investing in, you will notice that they are investing in the healthcare sector because they know that that is going to be the next cash cow, because you have been fed compromised food. Wake up. Focus. Focus, guys. Focus. Do not protect someone that does not want to protect you. Do not be lied to by tribalism that will make you say, Mtuwetu, he's for us, he's for us. Meanwhile, they are looting, they are being corrupt, they are evading accountability, they are killing us in the streets. And it is not enough that they have killed us in the streets. Now they want to kill us again in the long term by denying us food sovereignty, by giving us bad healthcare, by denying us education, by killing our future. In the future of those kids that are coming up, in the future of those kids that we are yet to have. How are you going to have a kid in such a bad economy, in such a bad situation? Let us focus. The enemy is corruption. The enemy is oppression. The enemy is bad governance. We are not each other's enemies. we have to protect ourselves as the sovereign people of this country. We are the Kenyans for Kenya.
Can someone go ahead?
Yes,
Um,
Edgar.
okay.
Perhaps I can. My name is Mahanu, and just to give my contribution, I was supposed to pick up from where Nelson had highlighted a few issues concerning the JKIA takeover case. I wouldn't want to belabor myself and go over the issues that he had already mentioned. But what people need to understand is that whereas we're being told that there's a company from India that has been contracted to upgrade and develop our national airport, what is really happening is a complete takeover. And I will summarize it very briefly so that everybody understands. What is happening right now is that a PIP a model of renovating and developing the airport has been submitted and has been approved. Now, the reason why we have a PIP model on major projects that involve governments is because there is always that special need to exploit or to explore that option, because direct competitive bidding does not offer the options. That means you explore this option in a case of a uniqueness that is contained in. Now, the reason why I call it a takeover and not a leasing per se, as it has been painted, is because the funding of this project is going to cost about, when the proposal was put forth, they said that it's going to cost about 2.047 USD billion dollars. But after the evaluation committee, they reviewed that amount to 2.05 USD billion dollars, which means they increased the amount. But let me even shock you. Whereas they say that this is a public-private initiative, the whole project is being funded from the current revenue that is being earned by JKIA up to a tune of 53%. Now, they say that they are going to run the project for 30 years, after which they are supposed to hand over. You see, the model they're trying to paint is like that one that we've seen working with the expressway, whereby a private investor comes in, does an infrastructure or a project, manages it, recovers their initial capital, then hands over the project to the government. But what is happening here? This company is not putting even a single shilling into this company. And this is how they are doing it. 53% is being funded by the current revenue earned by JKIA. Then 33% is going to be funded by a loan which they want to take using the title deed of the land that is owned by JKIA. And then they are telling us that 14% is going to be funded by an investor. And we all know, I'm sure you can all understand that if someone in the Kenyan context talks of an investor, we know what that means. But more shocking is this. At the end of the process of the 30 years, when they have recovered their 2 billion, which they have allegedly invested at this point, they are supposed to be paid again 2 billion at the end of the 30 years. So which means they allegedly put in 2 billion, which in the real sense they never put it. And at the end of it, they're going to recover 2 billion US dollars in a span of 30 years. Then at the end of the 30 years, they will demand again to be paid 2 billion. So that's 4 billion US dollars. Then they will own a lifetime stake of 21%. So clearly you can see this is someone that is domiciled in this country trying to secure their financial freedom for their children and perhaps the fourth generations to come. So it is a very serious issue that everybody needs to keep on looking at it. We are compiling the petition, and by next week we should have filed the petition, and we'll keep on sharing and updating Kenyans the status of the petition. Obviously, by the look of the materials that have been placed before me, it is highly likely that the court is going to stop the whole process so that a complete audit can be done and Kenyans can understand. And so Kenyans, this is just but one of the issues that is happening in one of the parastatos. So as a way forward, we also need to start demanding for a cleanup of most of the state corporations in this country. And that's where actually the problem is, because government offers services to Kenyans through state corporations. Recently, I saw the cabinet secretaries being fired and then being rehired again. What we need to understand is that based on our constitution, most of these cabinet ministers, cabinet secretaries, much as they have a lot of power, as it can be seen from where we sit, the chief accounting officers of most ministries are permanent secretary, principal secretaries. Those are the people who control the budgets. Those are the people who run the ministries. So if you see a ministry failing or succeeding, it's because the principal secretary is either doing a good job or they're doing a bad job. So as Kenyans, we need to demand during this moment, much as we have long-term goals, we also need to ensure that we inject instant action that will deliver results for purposes of revamping public service. We need to demand that principal secretaries, they must be dismissed because they have failed the government. They have failed this presidency. We need to demand an overhaul of parastatal heads and chiefs, board members of parastatos, CEOs of parastatos, chairmen of parastatos. All these people belong to a group that is already rotten. And if we are doing a reset, we are resetting this country, these are the people that are supposed to go. Now, the other thing that I talked about, but I want to talk about it more today, we need to de-incentivize public service. We need to de-commercialize public service. This is what I mean by that. Every public servant, and this is something that we want to start demanding, and I need every Kenyan to understand. We need to ensure that if you are drawing salaries from any public coffers, you need to be put on a payroll. Whether you are an MP, whether you are a CS, whether you are a principal secretary, we need to demand that everybody be put on a payroll, on a job group. The job group will decide the amount of salary you draw. So you can be a CS, but you don't have a degree, you don't have a master's degree, you only have a class 8 certificate. You are paid a salary based on your academic qualifications. That is it. That is how we will start de-incentivizing public service, and we will end up with the people who are dedicated and people who want to serve. Now, the other thing, someone may ask me, if you are saying that people should be put on in job groups and their credentials should determine how much they earn, don't you think these people are going to buy degrees and they are going to use it? Now, I was thinking about it, and based on my logic reasoning, we have some rules in the disciplined forces. In disciplined forces, the military, the police, if you are above the age of 30 years, you cannot join the disciplined forces. So similarly, we need to ensure that we scrutinize the degrees and certificates that people bring for purposes of looking for opportunities. We should make it as a rule that if you are above, if you have a degree that you have acquired above the age of 30 years, that degree should be declared just a honorary degree. It should not be used to assist you to get an opportunity in government. Because chances are, these people who get degrees above the age of 30 years, they have gone around, they have engaged in corruptions, they have managed to buy their way out in schools, and they have bought degrees. So if you get a degree above the age of 30 years, that degree should just be a honorary. So that degrees that can only be used to secure good opportunities and job opportunities are those ones that are acquired below the age of 30. And for sure, automatically, the corrupt people, the people who have been interfering with systems are going to be eliminated. We will end up creating a lot of opportunities. And by doing that, only people that are dedicated to serve Kenyans will be finding themselves in these spaces. People who think public service is a space to enrich themselves will not have it anymore. So as I finish and as I conclude, what is the way forward? I have heard people saying that in the event the presidency is forced to resign, that means the president and the deputy president, we will run into anarchy. No, we will not run into anarchy because we have a constitution, and the constitution provides very clearly that in the absence of a president and the deputy president, then the speaker takes over for 6 months, for 60 days, that is 2 months, then an election has to be held. Now, others are saying that how are we going to have elections without the IBC chairman? That is wrong. We can still have elections. What we need is goodwill. Even in the absence of the commissioners, elections can still be had. Previously, we have had commissioners in offices, but we've seen the bungle elections. So the mere fact that we have commissioners in the office does not guarantee that we are going to have a free and fair election. Elections can be had if we have good people in offices that have goodwill, that have got intent to deliver good results and transition for Kenyans. So we must start demanding these things, and we must have a strategy on the way forward. We need to action. We meet at the space, but we are doing very little in terms of actioning what we desire and what we are demanding. Talking too much and not putting pen on paper to action what we are saying will not get us far. We need to start occupying the SRC so that we demand that they review salaries of people based on job groups. Let everybody know that if you want to work in the public service, you are going to be paid on job group. If you are a CS and you have a class 8 certificate, you will be paid like that sweeper who is working in that ministry, not more than 20,000. That is the only way we'll be able to discourage these masqueraders and charlatans. Now, as regards the people who have been abducted, the people who are missing, we need to have comprehensive data. From this space, I know we have capacity and we have ability to get information concerning people who are missing, so that as lawyers and those ones the lawyers that we are here, together with LSK, we can start putting our heads together, trying to trace these people, and where necessary, we can get orders of habeas corpus, compelling relevant institutions to produce these individuals or their bodies if they are suspected to be dead. So that is what I will propose for now. And finally, as I conclude, this current parliament, this parliament that approved